Or is it? There it goes. Got that intro that shows up first. Check, check. Afternoon, everybody. Let me turn you up.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to. That's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
The enemies of freedom are alive and well, ladies and gentlemen. Swalwell is one of them. We'll go to that moron idiot in just a few moments. Welcome inside the Armed American Radio CZ Studios today. It is a Monday as we kick off your work week. Is it a work day today for you? It is for most of the country. It's not for the federal government. You're not going to get your mail. There's no stock market. None of that stuff going on today because it's MLK Day, but not for us. I mean, it is, but it's not because we're here. Oh, it's all presented to you by the National Rifle Association here at the Patriot Mobile Command Center in front of the Patriot Mobile. Mike, Greg in Dallas, Texas. How you doing today, brother?
Not too bad, and you're not wrong. Monday did get here pretty quick.
It did happen fast, and I know our guest is Andy Hooser today. We'll go to Andy in just a few moments, but
he's all TGIM.
Yeah, TGIM. Thank God it's Monday for Andy Hooser. Today it's been like this for me for the past 4 or 5 days, man. It's been cold, and I can't shake that chill. You know, you know what I mean? You get that bone chill going, and it just. So a hot cup of blackout coffee right now? No. In fact, it's really weird. I haven't had as much as a cold since I had that weird, and I know it was a COVID deal. It's the only thing I can think of. It's back 2020 shot, if you remember.
Yeah.
And boy, I was sick as a dog, and it was confirmed that it was there in January of that year. And it was
a lot of people got it.
I got it. There were some hospitalizations. What I had was just awful. I have not even had a cold since then. So whatever it was, gave me immunity for whatever it was. But good heavens. I mean, I'll deal with that. But yeah, just a cup of blackout coffee today. It's been super cold. And it's one of those days where the heater isn't getting you good and all that fun stuff, you know, just kind of a mess. But anyway, Greg, we're live on Facebook for you today, ladies and gentlemen, facebook.com/Armed American Radio. And Greg, we're not on Rumble today, so I'll let you do your spiel and we'll go over to Andy Hooser and have some fun.
Yeah, other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walter. You can head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com, hit that menu icon, then select your watch live or listen live option. Over on X, we're at AAR Mark. And if you'd like to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome in, my brother.
What's up, man? Happy Monday.
He's great.
The voice of Monday.
The voice of Monday. Here we are, ready to rock and roll. Greatest day of the entire week, setting that tone, man. We're ready to rock and roll.
Do we move him to Tuesdays or something?
Tuesdays, by far, greatest day of the entire week. Let me tell you, it's fantastic.
All right, Greg, maybe we'll make it Wednesday. Put him in on Wednesday.
Hey, top of the hill.
It is the pre-Friday, the post Monday, greatest day of the entire week.
Yeah. All right, I guess, Greg, without him listening, maybe Thursday. Maybe we do Thursday. I don't know. Thursday. You know, handy.
The pre-Friday celebration, man. Come on. I'm telling you, we are, greatest day of the entire week. We're the eternal optimists here. Every day is a great day. It reminds me of the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson back in the day, which was my favorite late night TV show, where every day he would come on there and he'd say, it's a great day for America. And it truly is. We got to keep that optimism and that enthusiasm.
Is there a download for this kind of optimism and enthusiasm? Because
my wife gets mad at me. She goes, sometimes, Andy, you are too much of a ray of sunshine. You need to simmer down a little bit.
You need to be a gray cloud every now and then.
Well, I don't want to. Maybe Friday's the worst day of the week for him because it's the end of the work week.
He's still looking at one more day of work.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I got 2 radio shows Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you got something today because I got nothing.
I don't know if you want to go there or not. I do have a UFO story.
Okay, hold that. No, let's go there first. Ladies and gentlemen, he brought it up. We have to go. I have no idea where Hooser's going with this one, Andy. Let's bring your photo up here.
I broke this on my show on Saturday. It was happening during our syndicated program Saturday afternoon, but there is a warning, and you can see it was reported by the Times out of the UK. Yep. It was also reported on the BBC. Oh yeah, that's right. I sent it to you. That's right. Where a former Bank of England expert, analyst, whoever it was, is now warning the Bank of England about a potential financial collapse. The largest bank in the entire UK, by the way, warning of a potential financial collapse soon because of the confirmation about the existence of ETs. So, yeah, get ready, man. We could see a financial collapse soon if we see the confirmation about the existence of ETs.
But that's just one guy saying that.
That is one guy saying it, but it makes sense. If you go back and you saw it during that Age of Disclosure documentary, where everybody, from all different groups, energy industries, banking industries, religious industries, whatever, came together and said, would it be a net positive or a net negative if we actually release this information to the general public? And they said it was going to be a net negative because, Mark, if we're working a 9 to 5 every day, if we're barely paying our bills, if we have debts racking up left and right, and then we hear about this existence of something outside of the universe that's just out here traveling and all this stuff's going on, it kind of makes the day-to-day mundane stuff completely irrelevant, and people would just stop paying their bills. So, yeah, I think we could potentially see a financial collapse. On the positive side, being the eternal optimist, that allows us to kind of hit the reset button and do things a different way that would be way better for us.
I'm wrestling with that correlation. Trump comes out and says ETs are real. I'm trying to gather in my head how American Express is going to expect me not to pay them. I don't make that correlation. Oh, really? ETs are real? I'm not going to pay American Express this week. I'm not sure I make that correlation.
Yeah, I think, look, if we're working here, and we have our mortgage payment, we have our car payment, we have our American Express payment, we're, paying at the pump for the gas, and then we hear of the existence of ETs. We hear about these companies that have this 0-point energy that costs absolutely nothing, and these ETs that are traveling across the universe in this type of energy. We're going to start asking questions of like, hey, why don't we have this type of energy? And why the hell are you building a power line in my backyard to try and transport this stuff and pay for all this oil and gas when we have a way better system of doing it and we don't need you? And we give these major systems the double-barreled middle finger, and we end up using this 0-point energy that completely upsets the entire industry.
I'm just going to go buy another gun. The firearms industry will explode if that happens. Look, you live in Wichita. You get tornadoes, and it's weird. People think tornadoes are coming. I have to have a gun. What are you going to do? Shoot the tornado? No, guns just give people a sense of security, right? It makes them feel. It empowers people. So what are they going to do? Well, I'm going to buy a bigger gun. ETs are real. This is the only thing I have. We're going to start seeing. You'd see the firearm industry go absolutely bonkers, haywire. Maybe we should make that announcement because they're hurting right now.
Well, that is true. And I think that actually the technology with Second Amendment in firearms would take whole nother leap. We're going to start seeing like Star Wars laser guns here pretty soon or something. But, it just proves that there's other technology that we're not even aware of in every industry, including the gun industry for sure, would see a major jump in technology, I think, that's going to make it harder for government to regulate it, which is why, and this is why I think it's so important for us to talk about these issues, not just because of the tinfoil fun conversation to be had, but because when we see, and this is the optimism in me, when, not if, we see these leaps in this confirmation of something else going on, we have to be already ahead of the game to be aware of it and know it's coming, because if we don't, government is going to use it to their advantage and against the citizens, not just the U.S., but I think worldly citizens, of saying, hey, we have to weaponize and militarize space. We need to control you through martial law, through larger military, oversight. So fill in the blank, whatever type of fear-mongering, fear tactic they have. We have to be very well aware of this beforehand, so that way we call them out when they try to take that big leap in regulation and control over the American people. And, so we have to get this information out.
Good marketers will capitalize on that. American Express already has. They already have a green card, right? They have a gray card, which is a platinum, right?
That's right.
So
That's
they're
right.
already covering the greens
It's
and
the
the grays
signs.
for us over there. But yeah, I'm still trying to make that correlation. Yeah, hi, American Express. I'm, as they call me. Oh, Mr. Walters, are you having some difficulties? Well, the aliens are here. Well, I didn't figure out how to pay them. I don't know how that works. I don't understand that. But anyway.
Or we just go to the mothership and then we just disappear. They can't. Yeah, American Express can find us anywhere in the world except for leave the planet.
Oh, no, they find you there, too.
They'll find you there, too. Yeah, trust
Excuse
me,
me, your
they're going to
car's
get you.
warranty has lapsed, and would you like to renew it?
Yeah, you got to remember these companies, Andy. You've been with them 40 years or whatever it is, and you pay your bills. Then the one day you don't pay their bill after 40 years, they cut you off and want to put you in court. Oh, yeah. They don't give you any mulligans. This ain't a game of golf with your friends at the local club. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, martial law. Let's talk about martial law when we come back from this break. I know Greg, see, there it is. It's the professional in me. I just sense that timing. When we come back, Swalwell is making some boneheaded comments about federal agents out in California because that moron is running for governor. And they're stupid enough out there to elect a guy. They certainly are. All you got to do is look at the past governor and good heavens. We'll be back with Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. I'll get it out, and then we're going to Google gun control, some interesting stories. We'll be right back. Guys, some great words of wisdom from our boy, Ace Frehley, the late Ace Frehley from KISS. I'm always flattered when people tell me that I influenced them. If I knew I was going to influence thousands of guitar players, I would have practiced more. That's from Ace Frehley. But there's a bigger message there, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's your public service announcement for the day. Your words of wisdom, your motivational cue for the day. Remember, never forget who you are. What you do matters. And because it matters and because you do influence people, lots of people you don't even know about in your daily life, you got to practice harder and you got to play loud, baby, because everybody's watching you be that great influence. Just great words of wisdom from the great Ace Frehley, the late Ace Frehley. We got a little glitch in the camera system today. Not sure why. Coming back at you now, guys. Looks like there's a little glitch in the camera stream. Not sure why that's happening. Do we having issues today?
The following segment of Armed American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, welcome back to the show indeed. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom today in the CZ studios here in front of this Patriot Mobile microphone here at the Patriot Mobile Ranch. And of course, it's all being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Please join them, ladies and gentlemen. Join us. I'm the NRA. The NRA is you. The NRA is me. And we need to band together now more than ever. The left is coming at us like crazy. And they're never, ever, ever going to stop. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome back, brother. By the way, that's nra.org/AAR. nra.org/AAR. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome back in, brother.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, man. So Swalwell, up to his, I don't know, some of these, oh my God, I know you can't say his name without doing that. And you wonder, I wonder, why don't these people just go away?
Well, because they've gotten away with it. Yeah, they've gotten away with it. They've gotten to do whatever they want to, even though we call them out, even though that they get exposed for some shady, they don't get held responsible for it. They continue to get to do whatever they want to do. So why would they go away? I mean, Nancy Pelosi's still out there saying her thing. Joe Biden is out there shuffling out into speeches and, barely able to read a teleprompter right now. Hunter Biden, for crying out loud, was on the Sean Ryan podcast just because I don't know why. I mean, they don't get held accountable for their actions. So why would they go away?
Well, here's what he's up to, Swalwell. He's running for governor in California. What a perfect fit he would be, right? And they're stupid enough to elect him out there. But he's out there now threatening. He wants to take away driver's licenses from federal agents, from ICE agents.
Yeah.
Do these people know no boundaries? Do they have absolutely no shame? I know the answer to the question. It's rhetorical, but I'm asking it, Andy. I just want to get your commentary on it because they do not. They don't have any boundaries. They will say anything and everything they think their base wants to hear, period. No matter how stupid, no matter how boneheaded they appear on national television, they just don't care. And it's a huge problem across the country because it's magnified by social media and 24/7 news and instantaneous information. Because we have this information so fast, it speeds instantly around the world. And these boneheads, I guess it's just camera time for them. And they get away with saying the stupidest things in the world. But why, take away driver's licenses from ICE. Look, here's the problem. The left is violent, ladies and gentlemen. Make no bones about it. It is the violent left that you are watching. We talked about this last night on the Monstercast, Andy. It is America's left that is violent, period. And we're witnessing it firsthand. Waltz and Fry out there instigating trouble. You had the storming of the church in Minneapolis. These guys should be in prison. If you did that, Andy, you would have been arrested for inciting violence in a riot.
Yeah.
When do we hold politicians accountable? When?
It's a great question. I think a lot of people are asking that on numerous different fronts, by the way, too, not just the protests that are going on in Minnesota, but the fraud that's been going on in Minnesota, the rate of wealth that people have gathered exponentially. Ilhan Omar going from bankrupt to $30 million plus. Nancy Pelosi that has hundreds of millions of dollars from her investments and the insider trading garbage that's been going on. We wonder what's going on there. We wonder why there haven't been any arrests with the Epstein files as of yet. We still wonder why there's so many classified pieces of information on the assassination of RFK and MLK, today being Martin Luther King Day. And, these that are going on. Why don't we have any information? And when will we stop just doing the committee hearings where we get the people grandstanding on both sides of the aisle just to get their point across for an election? Yeah, they get their grandstanding, their 2 minutes of an audio clip so they can send it to their constituents if they're working really hard on an issue. When will we get arrests done to actually see people go to jail for crimes that they've committed. We've known they committed them. I understand it takes time to build a legal case to make sure it's locked,
That's not the answer,
completely airtight.
That's not why it is.
But that's
not why it is. And there is a real answer to that. And the real answer to that is not until we finish cleaning house, period. Not until we get rid of the swamp when it's done. The deep state has to be cleaned out and wiped out. Is that possible?
And allow that in court system. That's the problem right now. We have a court system to where no matter what we do and present to them, they will blow it off and they'll just completely dismiss it and ignore it. So you're right. I mean, that's exactly where I was going with it, is the fact that we have a deep state, large portion of it in the judicial system, which is why Chuck Schumer openly said when Donald Trump was getting back into office, they were ramming through as many federal judges as possible to try and stop the Trump agenda. We have an open political judicial system that's not playing fair.
None of this is sustainable. I will tell you that right now. This is not sustainable for the next 250 years of this country. That much I can promise you. How it manifests itself, I don't know. I shudder to think. We talked about it in the roundtable. If you missed last night's program, ladies and gentlemen, go back and listen to the roundtable. We touched briefly on some of these issues, but we're in a very perilous position. This country is on the precipice. There's no question about it. Now, a great example of that is Donald Trump will have been in office in 2 days for 1 solid year. In 2 days. He hasn't been in office a year yet, Andy. He's 48 hours shy of it. Think about that. Look
Most
at what the left
productive administration in a century.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. That's not true because I don't think I've seen that on ABC or NBC or CBS. So I don't think you're right.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if that's not true. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have seen that on the news, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, if it wasn't on the news, certainly not true.
That is true.
But the fact of the matter, they're violent now. What happens over the next 3 years? What's their next step? When the violence in Minneapolis fails to work, or when they don't get what they want out of it, what's next? You think, are they just going to stop and go home and say, well, that didn't work. We tried it. Let's just hold hands and sing Kumbaya. We know the answer to that question. The answer is no. What happens next, Andy?
Mark, you remember, and we talked about this literally a year ago as Donald Trump was getting into office, and we saw the protests going on every weekend. Heck, the protests that are going on still here in Wichita every Saturday, where they wave these flags and impeach Trump, and they have the decapitated heads of Trump and all this other garbage, that they've been there since. And we asked the question then, they're already angry. They're already protesting. What is it going to look like in 6 months or a year from now? Or 2 years from now under the Trump administration? Well, guess what? 6 months into the Trump administration, Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Mm-hmm. We're a year into the Trump administration now, and we have completely lawless individuals that are being aided and abetted and encouraged by Democrats in elected official positions, from the mayor of Minneapolis to the governor of Minnesota to even the elected Congress people of that state and beyond, that are advocating for abolish ICE. And let's go into private places like churches and let's interrupt their service, and go even to the point, according to Don Lemon now, that if you don't interrupt your church service, if you don't interrupt your church service and stand up and protest with you, then that is a religion of white supremacy, which is what he said during an interview today, because of all this garbage. That's the stupid that we're up against now. And to them, that justifies, like during COVID with the Black Lives Matter protests, it justifies we can protest and be as obnoxious, radical, and violent as we want, because if you don't support us, you're part of the problem and part of the system.
Yeah, when we come back from the break, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you over to the coward Matt Drudge report. It's a good barometer of what the left is thinking at Drudge Report. I want to read you some of the aggregator headlines over there, and then we're going to go into some Googling gun control. There's a couple stories out there I want to cover with Andy Hooser and get his opinion on. Don't go away. Another 2 segments to go with Andy on a Monday. We'll be right back.
following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, I'm on my Patriot Mobile now. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason, jump in. You work with Patriot Mobile as well. Remember when Verizon went down a few days ago?
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't get affected by a lot of that, but a lot of people did.
Millions did. And Verizon's wanting to offer $20 now. Here's $20.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate that.
$20. When was the last time you went to a Jersey Mike's? You can't get 2 subs for $20 at Jersey Mike's anymore, $20. Thanks a lot for nothing, Verizon. And by the way, those of you that are watching on the stream, there's a lot of buffering going on, and I do apologize for that. That's beyond my control. So we'll just keep it going for you, and it catches itself up. And when it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Yeah. But Patriot Mobile's the real deal, ladies and gentlemen, because they use all of the towers, Andy, as you well know. So
yes.
you've always got service. And when you move from location to location, you've got the best signal of any of the networks because you're on those towers. So you've always got the strongest signal. And it's real easy if you want to get involved with Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile, ladies and gentlemen, Patriot Mobile. They wear the Second Amendment right on their mission statement on their website, patriotmobile.com/AAR, patriotmobile.com/AAR, and join them. Take advantage of all the great deals over there and support the businesses that support the show. Andy, you have a code too. Go ahead and give it out. Maybe some people don't like me and they love you. Use your code. Let's just get you on Patriot Mobile. Okay, go ahead, put it out.
Well, let me just say, I don't know who doesn't love Mark Walters with Armed American Radio, but if you want to support both programs,
I hate to tell you this, but a lot of people hate you too. You're a conservative talk radio host. You're despised by half the country. Does that make you feel better?
I am a loving, caring, unifying type of voice. I don't know who the heck would want to hate me, but nonetheless, if you,
Greg,
go ahead. I'll let him get the promo code out, and then I'll comment.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Promo code Reason. You can use promo code Reason at Patriot Mobile, and same offer. You can get 1 month free of service when you switch over to Patriot Mobile. Use promo code AAR or promo code Reason, and support the same company. It's fantastic.
I just wanted to jump in and say, according to the Facebook comments on some of your posts, Andy, not everybody loves you.
Well, you know what? That is true. I do get a lot of very angry people on social media at me. That is true.
Hey, so I put a graphic up on an image up on the screen during the break, and I want to read it. It's a picture of Ace Frehley, former Kiss guitarist, who of course passed away a few months ago, not just right around the Christmas holidays, sadly. And I saw Kiss in 1976. Andy, I'm dating myself, in Cobo Hall in Detroit, on their triumphant return after the Kiss Alive album just rocketed them to fame. And it was a hell of a concert. I knew then at 15 years old, 14 years old, that I was seeing history. I knew it then. And he's famously quoted for saying this: "I'm always flattered when people tell me I influence them. If I knew I was going to influence thousands of guitar players, I would have practiced more." And there's a bigger message there, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to impart to you. And that is, you matter. What you do matters to other people, whether you know it or not. All right. You are an influence to people you don't even know. So remember that, especially if you're a parent, you know that exactly. All right. Andy, you influence people every day. These shows influence people every day, whether it's good, bad, whatever it is, whether they like us or hate us, there's an influence there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you do the same thing in your lives. So here's just a little public service announcement. Okay. Because you are influencing people, especially if you're a parent. Andy, you're a father. You get it. All right. Don't forget these things. People are paying attention to what you do. So practice harder every day and play it loud. Okay. It's a great message. It's a great message from the great Ace Frehley. I miss him. He was, I learned to play a number of songs of his by watching him teach. He used to do those on YouTube. Did you know that? He would teach people how to play his music. And I took some of his lessons. It was really cool. Really cool. So I can say,
awesome. I did not know that, but
yeah, it's true.
Thanks, Trey. And I think a lot of celebrities forget that, politicians or, singers or athletes, that they're in the public light all the time, and everything they do is under scrutiny, but also is a role model for a younger generation that's looking up to them, which I got to be honest, being in radio, Mark, not that I'm a quote unquote influencer or celebrity in any aspect, but, and I don't like to consider myself that because that's never what I really set out to do.
I hate that term, influence.
I know, it's so strange. I know, it's so weird because I got into radio to talk policy, entertain a little bit, but obviously sitting in a room by yourself with a microphone, you have no idea how many people are listening or enjoy it or chuckling at what you say. And it's never one that you thought of that you would be a quote unquote influencer or celebrity in some aspect. Not why we get into well, maybe some get into the industry for that, but not why I got into the industry, because we like to have fun and talk about issues and hopefully educate and entertain people. And that's all we try to do here.
Yeah, I've had people come up to me at shows over the years and say, I just wanted to come, but people who have gone out of their way to come over, they'll have one of my books and they know I'm going to be at a particular booth, and they'll walk up and they'll say something along the lines of, I just want to let you know that I bought the book after I listened to you. I flew here from so-and-so specifically. I had a lot of people in Tombstone, Arizona come from all over the country to meet with me one time when we were broadcasting there, when I was out there with Kurt Schilling as well. And it was so much fun because you hear people come up. Yet I've had people say to me, what I heard you talk about saved my life. Okay. That's a powerful statement, man.
It is powerful. It is. And it's really nice and encouraging. And like I said, I don't necessarily want that type of stuff. The reason we do this, and the reason at least that I do this, is because I want people to be, and I always say it on my radio show, I want you to be your own voice of reason, be that catalyst for change in your own community, maybe to, be that spark for change, not to look towards somebody on the radio, someone as a podcaster, someone as a TV host, someone as, that leader of a movement, but to use their synergy, their excitement, their passion, their energy, their knowledge, to use that and be the leader that you can be in your community. I mean, that's what it's all about. And that's what we try to do. It's encouraging to hear that we have that type of influence, but it's really neat. It's exciting, but we have a lot of opportunity here. Don't be a follower, be a leader. And, let's make things happen, because we have a huge opportunity, Mark. We have policy decisions going on right now.
Yep.
We have budgets in Congress. We have Second Amendment conversations going on. We have investigations. We have transparency issues we're trying to focus on. And we have midterm elections that are going to make or break the last 2 years of the Trump administration coming up at the end of this year. We can't rely on just talking heads being the ones that are going to make that change. The people listening and people doing things, they're the ones that are going to make that change or not, on whether we have a Second Amendment in a small town in Kansas or, in Chicago, Illinois, or,
we have
whatever
a country
it is.
To save, Andy.
We have a country to save.
I don't mean
make it happen.
We. I mean all of us. We have a country to save. And ladies and gentlemen, it starts with you. It starts with each one of us individually. And that's why I thought that quote from Ace was so important, because it's so true. Each one of us influences somebody in our lives that matters and makes a difference. And in today's day and age, it is absolutely critical that we remember those things. I used to, I've talked to a number of folks over the years, had some great motivational conversations. And I've reminded people, never forget who you are. Never forget who you are. Okay. You matter. It really makes a difference. Andy, let's move over to Hawaii real quick. Hawaii. When we think about guns, we don't really think about Hawaii that often, but the Supreme Court is hearing a Hawaii case arguments mañana. Now, this is interesting. Here's the headline from Honolulu Civil Beat. Hawaii AG to Supreme Court. Gun control is Hawaiian tradition. Okay. All right. Does that make it constitutional and make it right? Because it's a tradition? No, it does not. Okay. There were cultures out there that ate people. Okay. Cannibals. Doesn't make it right. And here's the thing. King Kamehameha.
It's a cultural thing.
King Kamehameha. Am I saying that right? Kamehameha.
It's close.
King Kamehameha. The third banned the possession of firearms and all deadly weapons in the Hawaiian Kingdom in 1833. Okay, so what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if he banned them or not. That doesn't make it right. And this is what they're going to use to argue in front of the Supreme Court, that gun control is a Hawaiian tradition. Okay, when we come back with Andy Hooser, we'll try to knock this one down. But this is too fun to talk about. Hawaii, because, of course, has some of the strictest gun laws in the nation. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk about it. Does tradition trump the Constitution? Should be a 9-0 decision. But there's 3 liberals that we know of on the court. I can tell you right now how all 3 of them will rule in this case. Andy Hooser, one more segment. We'll be right back. Perfect timing. Coffee's about gone.
This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back. Here's my card. I have it right here. If you're watching, I'm holding it up. If you're not, I'm tapping it on the mic right here. It's my Attorneys on Retainer card. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an attorney on retainer. It's $37 a month. Now, I got in when it was $35, but it's a nominal increase of $2. Attorneys on retainer. Carry a gun, have an attorney. Use your gun, you're going to need an attorney because there's going to be an investigation. Even if you're not charged with anything, you want an attorney during an investigation. All right. Don't believe me? Watch last night's Landman episode. Okay. Says it all. I wish Kayla was my attorney. That would be kind of fun, but she's not. Either way, I have a team of up to 4 lawyers. If I, God forbid, have to use my firearm to defend myself, my family, whatever it may be, I have a team of attorneys, and all of the instructions of what to do and what not to do are right here. In fact, a lot of it was mentioned on Landman last night. I couldn't help but make the analogy when I was watching it with my son after last night's Monster Cast. attorneysonretainer.us/AAR, $37 a month, the most no-brainer $37 you will ever spend. Take advantage of what we offer for you there. And not just Attorneys on Retainer, all of our partners. You can find Attorneys on Retainer and all of our great partners at armedamericanradio.com, budsgunshop.com, Crossbreed Holsters, Car Firearms, CZ. They are all there. Patriots Relief, Heaven's Harvest, all of them are there for you. Blackout Coffee, we feature them all week. I'm drinking a cup right now, and the timing's perfect because I'll finish this right about the time the show ends today. Blackoutcoffee.com. My only problem with Blackout Coffee is my wife found my stash, and a lot of it is gone now, so I'm going to have to order some more, because we're going through it twice as fast as I thought we were going to when I first put in the orders. Blackoutcoffee.com. Use the promo code AAR. That website is up and available for you, as is the Armed American Radio AAR site for attorneysonretainer.us and nra.org/AAR. It's real simple. Pick up some barrel buddies, clean your guns the right way, visit all of our great partners. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Let's go back to Hawaii. All right, this is interesting because apparently the defendants in the case of the state of Hawaii are going to argue the following: that the long legacy of gun control is what they're going to stand on. Now, the plaintiffs in the case are 3 Maui gun owners and the Hawaii Firearms Coalition, and they say that the law in Hawaii that restricts them from carrying their firearms outside their home is unconstitutional. Well, Bruin says that, Heller said that, etc. We could go on down that list, not enough time. Suffice to say, the Supreme Court has spoken on that. So you have a right to carry a gun outside your home. So these 3 Maui gun owners and the coalition are saying that the law infringes on their clients' Second Amendment rights by banning guns from most places people go on a daily basis, which is true. The state is arguing, Andy, that being gun-free should be the default for Hawaii establishments. Why? Because, quote, Hawaii's unique history, including its long pre-stated existence as an independent kingdom, means that its residents never developed a practice of bringing guns into shops, convenience stores, and the like. That's from the state attorney general, Ann Lopez, in a brief that she filed with the Supreme Court back in December. Now, San Diego-based attorney Alan Beck, who's representing the plaintiffs, says bringing the history of the Hawaii kingdom into the argument is completely invalid. What they're really arguing is that the rights of my clients, who are U.S. citizens, should be dictated by the laws of a monarchy. And by the way, that no longer exists. And he says that's not a position that's really tenable. How do you think this one shakes out?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what courts it goes to, on how they're going to make a decision on there. If it gets up, I mean, this is
Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is hearing arguments on this case tomorrow.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I mean, look, the Supreme Court should, if they aren't ideologues, and I'm optimistic about that one, I would say that, hey, look, it may not be part of your culture. Cool. You're part of the United States. And if an American citizen is walking around Hawaii as a U.S. citizen, they have the right to carry a firearm. You know, the fact that they're trying to do so at their level, I don't know. Look, I mean, we have other states that try to ban it in certain places as well. You can't open carry. You can't carry in public places. You know, they have these different ways. But the argument they're making, I would think, is like, you can't, just because you have a different culture and a different heritage before you came part of the United States. Therefore, we're going to hold on to that, and that's how you're going to make your ruling. That's an interesting stance to take. If the local cities ban it because they passed the ordinance at a citywide level, that's still going to be challenged. And I don't think it would stand. I don't know how it would stand on a case where they try to use culture and heritage and the history of the area, prior to the United States. I wouldn't think that would work well for them, but in today's age, who knows?
That's true. Here's the thing. It gets better because a gentleman by the name of Chris Marvin, he's a Hawaii-based gun violence prevention expert. That means he's a gun grabber, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that means. He's a gun controller, okay? He said he fears overturning Hawaii's private property law could have negative impacts on the state. Take a listen to this. Because Hawaii has laid the foundation for its current attitude towards guns. Less than 1% of the state population has a license to carry, and shootings are still relatively rare. Now, Hawaii has low rates of gun violence. That may very well be true. But here's what he says. We still have very low gun violence rates compared to the rest of the country, but that actually just underlines that we do have a gun-free culture. Just because there's a handful of enthusiasts that would like to have their pistol on them while they eat Simon, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's a popular Hawaiian noodle dish. Doesn't mean the rest of us should have to suffer for that. Oh, good heavens. Tomorrow's show just got some foreshadowing of tomorrow's program. But my good heavens, Andy, none of what he said matters. Hawaii is a U.S. state. Hawaii is governed by the United States Constitution, Andy. Just because there's a handful of enthusiasts, you mean American citizens that want to exercise their constitutional rights, he refers to as enthusiasts, that would like to have their pistol on them while they eat noodles, doesn't mean the rest of us should have to suffer for that. Why do you suffer because I'm sitting eating a bowl of noodles next to you and I have a gun on me and you don't know it? Are you suffering, Andy?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, I don't know how they make that argument when someone making their own personal choice is suffering. It reminds me, they're using the same tactic that they did during COVID to where, you have to get your vaccine to protect me. Even though I got the vaccine to protect myself and you didn't get the vaccine, you're putting me in harm's way because you didn't get it and I did, even though the vaccine protects me from the virus, so you have to get it as well because it's a whole collective thing. That's the same kind of argument that they're using, is that either everybody does it or nobody, and me carrying a concealed weapon in a restaurant that no one even knows about is somehow putting other people in danger or an issue for them, so therefore you're not allowed to do that. That just doesn't make any sense to me because I don't know what the crime rate is. I don't know what the shooting rate is in Hawaii. I can imagine
it doesn't matter.
It's higher than it. That's exactly.
It doesn't make any difference.
Look,
you mentioned the COVID thing real quick before we run out of time. That's like the goober mask wearing sucker that fell for all that nonsense, which we did not hear, thank God.
Right.
Would give you crap because you weren't wearing a mask while they were. So you mean your mask doesn't protect you?
Right.
Why are you wearing a mask, you stupid liberal sucker? Oh, yes, I said that. I really, truly said that. You suffer because I might be carrying my lawfully concealed handgun on my person that you don't even know I have while we're eating noodles together in a Hawaiian restaurant. Good heavens. Hawaii loses this case hands down at the Supreme Court. But, Andy, I could be wrong. Where can people listen to you in the next hour, brother?
Yeah, you bet, man. HooserReason.com. You can check it out. Always a pleasure, Mark. We love you guys. Happy Monday, and get ready for the greatest day of the week.
Yeah. Tuesday.
The post-Monday celebration.
The post-Monday celebration. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. We love you, brother, for a reason. Thanks for being here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us to. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. See you on the radio tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate it. Andy's always a a breath of fresh air on a Monday to start the day. He's just so excited that it's Monday. We just love him. He's great. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. If you can check him out in the next hour, please do so. Visit HooserReason.com and go check out his program. He's awesome. Greg, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be here before you know it. Same bat time, same bat channel. Enjoy your day, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow.